R.I.P.D. Pour one out for the Mistress of Flame and Sword. It's really playing games, the Extinction curse, and one of them has just gone extinct. I am Graham, the GM, and joining me today are Sarah. Oh, that's right. Petra's dead. But joining me instead are Brian as Faith, the Tiefling monk.
Hi.
We've got
That was kind of sad.
Garrett as Fabian, the Catfolk rogue. We've
Well,
got
hopefully her ghost will haunt us in future sessions.
fingers crossed. We've got Ross as Arshis, the Lizardfolk swashbuckler.
Hello.
Other Ross is Marion, the half-elf oracle.
Evening.
And then Patrick as Horatio, the half-elf wizard.
For Petra.
For Petra. You all have had, to say the least, a rough week. It has been a hell of a time. You have come here to the sleepy town of Aberton on the Isle of Kortos in the inner sea region of Galarian.
I don't really want to be on camera anyways.
So you have suffered through the death of the ringleader, Myron Thunder Stindhall, that set off all of this. Found that there was a halfling druid with malintent going behind all of this and killing the circus folk and claiming that nature will rise again. Nemia Bramblecloak was this halfling's name, who you captured. Figured out that there's some goings on. Nature is doing some weird things. These animals are being more hostile. There's droughts and crops not growing in the land. Went around Aberton, investigated some strange things going on there. Found the connection to the Hermitage of Blessed Lightning on the outskirts of town. Went over there, which once was a holy place to Gosra. Found that it was corrupted by demonic influences and corrupted retainers and whatnot there. Managed to rescue Harlock Hamdeal, leader of the Hermits of the Hermitage, who was not corrupted. Begged forgiveness, but said that the source of all this comes probably from the Arran Tower, this mud brick tower located on the Isle of Arran from ancient days of Eredin. You went there, found that it was inhabited completely by Zolgaths and dinosaurs and all kinds of traps and whatnot, battling your way up to the top after strange weather effects and things happened there. You, on the top of Arran Tower there, yay, with Kavnakash, the leader of these Zolgaths, Petra was struck down by his magic maul. You managed to destroy Kavnakash and toss his body off of the side, carry Petra back to the circus, and give a double funeral both for Myron Thunderstindhall and Petra P.D. Doldromus. And that is the entirety of Book 1. So we come to the day after you have rested, done what you can to try and celebrate the lives of those you have lost, but still persevere and keep going even through these tragedies. So you find yourselves the next morning recuperating as best you can. Maybe some of you with a hangover, maybe some of you just kind of sad and depressed. So you have a trio of men kind of coming to you now that you've been shown yourselves to be very capable and able to defend the circus family. You are seen as leaders and these advisors, if you will, and the mayor are coming to you in this morning meeting to kind of talk to you about a few things. Horatio, the other day you did go by and see, just, saving that little bit of spell energy left, to see if Mordain was still petrified from the cockatrice bite she suffered several days ago. And much to your surprise, she seemed to be moving around. She seemed to have broken out of it. However, much like how it affected Faith, there are these splotchy, kind of gray, stone-like bits on her skin, so she was moving very stiffly. You're able to, with some magic, try to ameliorate that somewhat, but she is absolutely at wit's end. She's just a wreck and just flopping over in a chair. I can't believe the time was stolen from me. Oh, those precious days I could never have back. And is utterly inconsolable for the time being.
I mean, it
Someone else
is
should tell her
rough.
that I'm worse off.
I can attest to that.
I will say nice words to her and not remind her that Petey is dead.
You you try to spare her one tragedy at a time. Faith, you say it's not permanent, so but she doesn't seem to pay too much attention to that. Later on, when you were meeting with the professor from your circus, Harlock Hamdeal and Mayor Aber, Mayor J. Aber kind of starts off and says, I've heard about your incredible feats and what you have accomplished in your short week here, and let me be the first to say, we, the people of Aberton, are immensely and eternally grateful. Please consider yourselves honorary Abertonians in perpetuity. We owe you so very, very much, and thank you from the deepest parts of our hearts. If there is something that our meager abode can do for you, please don't hesitate to ask.
Oh, now?
Oh, if you need time to consider, that's fine with me. I just wanted to be by this morning to thank you again and offer my sincerest condolences for your losses. But it seems that you all are in good hands now. If there's nothing else, I shall make my leave. Kind of.
Actually, I could use a few bundles of arrows.
Arrows. Of course. I'm sure we can find somebody, a Fletcher, traveling around here. Or maybe a hunter that may have a few arrows. I'll do what I can to send some arrows your way post haste. Good Sir Marion.
Actually, I could use some cloth, something to make.
Now we don't want to overload Hamdeal with helping everybody.
Well,
he's a busy man.
So the arrows were fine, but the piece of cloth was not.
So you're the only one he can help, Marion. I was thinking something to make like hand wrappings. Just any color cloth, preferably colorful. Although if it's not colored, we could dye it.
Sure. I'm sure we can acquire some cloth. I mean, what kind of town would we be if we didn't have just some colored cloth for you? Let me go ahead and just ask around. Shouldn't take very long, but I will be back post haste with your arrows and your cloth. And,
I'm gonna ask Horatio if he can he not just take cloth from literally anywhere?
I mean, I could, but he was here and he asked.
With that, Mayor
Why,
Aber.
why walk 15 minutes when he can walk 15 minutes for me?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's whatever.
And the mayor leaves.
I mean, it's not like he's got a lot to do. It's a pretty small town.
They're for you anyway. You and Faith.
So these two old men remain in the tent room with you. The professor says, well, Mayor Aber has some very nice words for us, but they may not ultimately provide us with what we need to keep going as a family and as a business, and that would be more performances and more audiences. We can certainly try to have another show here to try to drum up some of the remaining funds that this town may have. Maybe give them a proper show after the difficulties of our last one. But beyond that, beyond maybe one more show, I don't know that Aberton can really sustain us for much longer. Since I am trusting you in many of these decisions now, I would be curious as to your thoughts, if you believe we should stay here for another show or try to make for greener pastures, so to speak.
I want to go to another town. I want to keep moving. I spent my entire life in that town that I'm from, and this is the only other place I've been. I'd like to be like a third town.
A reasonable request.
Add it to your
Moving on is why I joined.
I don't want to be insensitive, but we seem to be kind of low on performers. Because Mordain seems to still be a little incapacitated.
Yes, she will take some time, I'm sure. Well,
We could, if we decide to stay and have another show, upgrade one of the support staff.
kind of looks from Horatio to Arshis to Faith.
I'm really not good on stage.
I know, I wasn't talking to you.
Oh my.
Besides, who would handle the money?
That is a very important job, to be frank. Well, there's no shortage of those to Oarshisk or Faith, if you were interested. Those who've been in this business for a long time and can show you the ropes, so to speak, help you develop your trick and hone it into an act. But it's your call. That there's no pressure. I'm sure we can figure it out one way or the other. Besides, we have Mr. Volcano, who has decided to try to join our ranks. He is a performer, after all, as you may recall from the menagerie.
I'd like to ask Faith why she joined the circus, why she decided to join the circus.
I mean, I did join the circus because I want to perform. But I'm worried that if I'm busy working on my trick, one of you is going to get injured. That seems to happen a lot.
Well, out of character, our most dangerous trick is not here anymore.
Well, yeah, but we have Victor Volcano, and I'm pretty sure he's just as dangerous.
Fair
His
enough.
trick does have the injury trade.
Never mind then.
But although I am fire resistant now, so maybe I should join his. Maybe I should be part of his trick.
That would be useful. We are down on group numbers.
Well, either way, I just need to know if we should prepare the tent for another show in a week's time, or if we are indeed moving on. Unfortunately, considering our options of where to go next, the
You're
eye
not gonna say.
of Aaron is not very large, and the largest, most populous, and for us, most profitable city would undoubtedly be Escadar, where the menagerie makes its home.
But I mean, like, we would be competing for attention, right?
Yes, we would.
And they will probably try to murder us. Again.
Mistress Dusklight is, well, unsavory in her practices, but you have done well in protecting us this week. And perhaps you can thwart her machinations. It's rather vaudevillian, but it's something that we may have to do to stand up to the dastardly cat. And, oh, no offense, Fabian. It's just that she's a cat, too.
Is there no other place?
Booking passage for all of us to the Isle of Arran will be expensive. We need to build up some funds before we can do that, and well, most of the money flows through those grimy, dank ports in Escadar.
Maybe we should do one here to work
Didn't-
on our stuff before we do one in a large city
Didn't-
like that.
Didn't Petra promise the town that we were going to do one at some point when we got back from the tower?
Promised the shopkeep. If
Well, we
I
wouldn't want.
recall. And
I know, but didn't he
told
hype
them
up the town?
told them a day that we did not actually play on.
Well, she did promise a show. We can give them one more, a proper send-off, in her name.
Good point.
Well, all right. I suppose we'll prepare for Act 2 in Aberton. There'll be much to do, and I'll be calling on you shortly, but there was one other matter that Harlock wanted to discuss. Turns to the head abbot. Thank you, Professor. I've seen what y'all have done and heard some of what they're talking about, what happened at the Aaron Tower. And, I'm just curious what transpired. I want to hear in your words what happened there.
Are you aware of troglodytes?
Yes, I recall seeing the Zolgaths there, and there were a lot of them, from what I could tell. I hope they didn't give you too much trouble.
There were a lot of them.
And they did give us trouble.
They stunk so much.
They were worshiping a demon lord. Zev Gabazeb. And
Make a religion check.
the room, I don't remember if you said that you went into the hidden room, did you? Or did you just notice it?
I did. I did go in for just a moment and saw the towers and engravings there.
When we reached the top of the tower, we defeated the sort of leader, I guess. Kavnakash, actually. That's what they called him. In the fight, he killed Petra. I don't know if you know that, but he did.
I'd heard, and I attended the ceremony the other day, and I'm very sorry for your loss. The Lord and Lady of the Wind and Waves, I hope, carries her soul someplace calmer.
Strangest part is that after the fight was over, the orb on the top of the tower just descended toward us, and I think we all felt some kind of magic infuse us. I don't really know what it was. It was incredibly powerful. And we can feel, it's like if you close your eyes and you are half a mile from your home, you know where you are, you know where your home is, you can point that direction. I can point the direction of each of the towers with my eyes closed, and I don't think I've ever seen any of them, but for a long distance. We can feel them, whatever that means.
Wow. Gossard be praised. I thank you. Thank you for telling me that. That gives an old man an awful lot of hope for the future. Well, it seems, whether you were trying to get caught up in this or not, that the Aeon orbs have taken a liking to you. And you may be our best hope in restoring the verdant life that used to grace this place. Well, I'll help in any way I can, but it seems that you have gone farther than me now. I just hope that your journey is as safe as it can be. I will be praying for you daily. Gazra I will try to extol him to watch out for you on the path ahead, for I know it will be dangerous. But it is important and necessary work. Well, I will stay here and do what I can to fix the hermitage, but I did want to bring up your unpleasant guest and ask what you think you might want to do with her.
You mean Nemia?
Aye.
Well, what would you do?
I've tried to get through to her, but that seems something has seated itself in her heart. The other day I thought I was making progress, just yesterday, until there seemed to be just something that came over her, like some kind of... She thought of something. And since then, she's just been smiling, this smug, shit-eating grin. Excuse my language. But, I can't seem to get through to her anymore, and to be frank, it's frustrating me at this point. So, I leave it in your hands. You can try to take her somewhere farther away. Maybe she can't do any damage when she's around Aberton, or leave her here. It's up to you.
You have a jail?
I mean,
Well, not
They
really.
they don't have a sheriff anymore.
This is also the case.
and sure, she could cast some spell or something that could break her out of just an ordinary jail.
Not under a spell, is she? Some kind of a compulsion that we could break?
You may be able to discern more than I could, but
I don't want anything to do with her. She's infuriating.
I mean, I suppose Nellen wouldn't be very happy, but we could try to lock her in the vaults in the church. It's a very secure place.
What, and have her starve?
Well, no, we'll have to have somebody tend to her. Unfortunately, it may be Nellen.
Yeah, that sounds really uncomfortable. That sounds great until you get a lawman back in office.
Sure, a temporary solution. Well, I suppose...
Are there not holding cells at the Hermitage? I thought we saw holding cells for animals. Couldn't they be repurposed?
I don't know how long it will be until I can get some more help at the Hermitage and rebuild after what's gone on there. That will take some time. In the meantime, she would not be very secure and guarded.
I like the vault idea.
All right. Well,
As long as they're okay watching over her.
Well, the mayor owes us a favor.
It's true. Well, if there's anything else you want to investigate or talk to her about, or if not, I'll send some of the roustabouts. We can carry her off to the church.
I don't think we have anything more to say to her.
I'm sure she doesn't have anything important to say to us.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank you for everything that you've done. I don't know a way I can repay it, but like I said, I will put everything I can into every prayer to make sure Gazra is following you, making your way safe. Thank you. And
Thank you for your help.
short while later, Harlock rounds up a few of the roustabouts. They extricate Nimia from Mordane's glass box. Set that aside. She is tied up, gagged, and then kind of ushered away. This whole time, she's gagged while she's doing this, but she kind of side eyes you as she's being carried away with these eyes, these just beady little eyes that just have this little bit of a smile to them.
I just try, as she leaves, can I just try casting a Dispel Magic on her to see if it has any kind of effect?
Oh, I think she needs some kind of clerical
Yeah,
intervention,
I
honestly.
don't think it's going to do anything, but might as well try it.
Sure. So,
Let me give you Dispel Magic. And I will just... Oh, I'm talking to myself.
no, you're good.
And I can just roll a counterspell, which is the same as a spell attack roll.
Yeah, go make that roll.
Yeah, I can't just click it, but it's... Natural 1.
Oh no.
So you're not
Oh.
sure like what you're aiming for, anything like that. She doesn't have any magic items on her. You send the dispel just to try and wipe away the slate clean. She keeps walking. Just still looking. Now looking particularly at Horatio.
Can I hero point it?
Sure, if you would like
I don't
to.
even know if this is going to do anything, but I don't know. 25.
25.
Oh, if I hit Dispel Magic, I have a counteract check built into it. So if it's just a curse, I don't think it does anything. But if it has a magical trait, then it depends on the level.
Yeah, so
This is a 3rd level counterspell.
Or if that's just the way she is, then that's just the way she is.
Oh yeah, if that's just the way she is, it doesn't do anything. But she did suspiciously start acting weird.
yeah, so you focus the energy of the dispel magic spell harder, focusing on Nimia, and there's a point where she kind of blinks and stops, and then looks toward you, Horatio, and starts to thrust and move toward you angrily. Just the roustabouts are able to hold her back, getting a couple more to assist her at that point, and kind of dragging her back. She's looking back to you with now just fury in her eyes. Just as she is being muscled out of the tent.
I think she might need a remove curse or a break enchantment.
As she's escorted
Shit.
out. Harlock says,
This man.
not sure if old Nellen's up for that, but we'll see what we can do. I'll keep you posted how it turns out with her.
Can you send? Is there somebody you could send for in like the city or something that would be capable of that? Do you have people that owe you a favor?
The professor chimes in. I could see about maybe someone from Escadar, but it would take some time. We would have to send a courier there, and then perhaps wait a week or two before we get a response.
Right.
So it is, if you'd like to pay for a courier, then we could try that.
I mean, if you think that this is some effect that is not her, then we can't just do nothing.
It looked like my magic had some kind of an effect on her, but there are things that I can't, that I will never be able to, with my type of magic, eliminate. So I don't know if seems like there's something there. I don't know if I'm just not powerful enough, or if you just need a cleric. Sometimes you just need a cleric.
And unfortunately, Nellen is not quite a cleric. A priest, but not quite a cleric. But Harlock does go, per his word, out with Nemia. So I guess if you want to try to send a courier to try to get somebody to help out Nemia, you can try to do so. I would say it would cost about 4 silver pieces to send a message and get a response back from somebody in Escadar. And it would take the better part of at least a week before.
Well, I don't know if we would have to wait. I mean, just generally and
Sure.
set up, and so that if we are gone at that point, they could still. I don't need to see the conclusion necessarily. Just know that something was being done. But that's just my opinion.
They do manage to heal her somehow. We have openings for clowns, I guess.
All right.
I am happy to pay 4 silver to send that courier.
Okay. You send along the cashola to try to send a courier for somebody in Escadar to come do some kind of magic, a dispel, a cleric, a healer of some kind of the mental arts to hopefully correct this halfling's horribleness. So, with that and the decision made to hang around Aberton to try and do one more show, you guys get to prepare for another circus. And what better way to prepare for the big top circus show than with a spreadsheet?
Yeah.
So interactive.
Yes. All right. So, unlike last time, you get to choose how you want to prepare and advertise for the circus. Now, first things first, there'll be a period of downtime days where you're able to go along and try to promote the circus. There's a few things you can do. What you're trying to do at this point is generate anticipation. The more anticipation you have, the more your potential payout, the greater your potential payout might be. So, first things to consider are that you're going to have 6 days to do so. You have advertisements you can potentially purchase to advertise that you are putting on a circus. There's different tiers of advertisements, and they generate various levels of anticipation. If you do a tier 1, just costs a gold piece and just does 1 anticipation. Not a lot, but then you'll more likely to succeed in your show. Tier 2 would be 5 gold pieces and generate 2 anticipation. Tier 3 jumps all the way up to 20 gold pieces and 4 anticipation. And then tier 4 is 40 gold pieces and 6 anticipation. Beyond that, you're getting into 80 gold pieces, which I don't know. You can absolutely use some of your own funds to do this, or you can use the circus funds, but right now what's in the circus pot is only 5 gold, 5 silver. So you can discuss what kind of advertisements you'd like to do, or if you're like, no, we don't need any advertisements.
We should have some advertisement.
Yeah, I think we can afford tier 1 ads.
Tier 1.
Okay, tier 1 ads. So spending some of the circus's money, 1 gold piece for tier 1 ads. And that'll give you just a little bit of extra anticipation. Of course, you'll be able to build up more, but we'll start off with 1. All right, so the flyers go up, just meager. Whoever is the most artistic among you is able to paint up some flyers pretty hastily. They're kind of, handwritten flyers, but hey, it's something. It's something you can do.
Is Fabian the most artistic? I don't know.
Am I the most artistic? What would that be?
Or would Marion on one of his skillful spats?
That's true.
All right. So you have about 6 downtime days to promote the circus around town. This is a downtime activity that takes 2 days, 2 consecutive days in town, generating anticipation for your next circus show. It is a society check, and one other PC can spend a couple downtime days to aid you. They give you a +2 bonus if they succeeded a DC 20 society check. So,
I have a question.
Yes.
Say someone were to have the Hobnobber skill feat. I don't have the Hobnobber skill feat, but what that is that it changes gather information to a diplomacy check, and that fits flavor-wise because instead of gathering information, you're spreading information.
Disseminating. Isn't there something about a rumor or something like that?
Oh, sowing a rumor, but that's.
So you're skilled at learning the information through conversation. Gather information, exploration activity takes you half as long as normal. If you're a master in diplomacy and you gather information at the normal speed, when you attempt to do so and roll a crit, you get a failure instead. There's no rumor to learn. Okay. So yeah, I would say Hobnobber.
Oh, I have that wrong. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It might help speed along, generating doing the promote the circus society activity. It may help you, talk to the right people who would be most influential and tell their friends about it. But
I have it wrong. Gather information is a diplomacy skill feat, or is a diplomacy skill action. And there's another feat that allows you to use society instead.
There we go.
I had it mixed up.
Promote the circus is untrained, and there is no penalty for even critically failing. So on a failure, you get 1. On a success, you get your level plus your charisma modifier.
Yep.
Critical success, you get double your level plus charisma. So I am obviously the person who's rolling this.
Because you're trained in society?
I am trained in society. I have a charisma modifier. And
I can
anybody
aid.
else roll to aid.
Do you have to succeed to aid, or?
You have to get
yeah.
a 20, DC 20.
Yeah, there's no penalty for aiding, though. I think if you fail the aid check, then you just, nothing happens.
I have a +1 to society? Because it's intelligence, apparently.
A 7? 7.
Alrighty. So as part of this, because Everton's a small town, and if you have one person kind of promoting it, that involves multiple people, but they're kind of helming the effort. So it's one PC at a time per 2 days making the check. So it's really not 3 separate opportunities for checks to do it, since it takes 2 downtime days each time. So if Horatio is helming this off, whoever wants to, one other PC can aid Horatio in the society check.
Critical failure on the aid hurts, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Normally.
it is an aid action. Sorry, it does follow the normal aid action rules. So critical failure would be bad.
And at a
Who's
so,
tra- I'm
so at a,
trained
so
in
at a
society,
DC
is anyone
20,
better?
is there anybody who is under a 50% chance to critically fail?
I have a 7.
I have a 9.
Well,
Oh, I have a +8. So that would make Fabian best at it, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
but he doesn't have under a 50%.
I think he only fails on a.
Oh yeah, he only
Yeah, he only
One?
crit fails on a 1.
Yeah.
has a 9, would make it an 11. The DC's 20. Yeah, he would only crit fail if he rolled a natural 1.
No pressure.
No pressure. You can always hero
No
point it.
pressure. Should I go for it?
Go for
Well,
it.
So,
I'll
Fabian,
roll for it.
as we're getting ready to do this, we're kind of talking over how we want to handle preparations and getting people hyped up, because it's very important. And I think you see me think for a second, and then I reach into my coat and I pull out a letter and I hand it to you and say, Fabian, if anything ever happens to me, can you see that this is delivered?
Who's it to be delivered to? That's a rather grim thought.
Somebody important. There's a name and a location on the letter.
Okay. Not your brother?
Nope.
Okay.
I guess he's not important.
All right. I promise I'll see that this is delivered. But you're not going anywhere, are you?
I hope not. But sometimes
Oh,
we don't have a
good.
choice. So
I will tuck that letter away.
On that sad note, you go to advertise a circus show.
Yay!
Yay!
Wonderful.
Try not to die, I guess.
I know.
Well, you've had a dangerous time of it so far. Sure. So I guess we'll do the aid check first. So if Fabian is aiding, you can go ahead and make your society check.
He did.
I did, but
Oh.
sadly, it's slightly.
No, you're a little down the first couple days after like wondering what this very heavy letter in your pocket. So Horatio, you can just try your society check all on your lonesome. Well, there's a lot. There's a lot on your conscious and everything during it. So it's kind of tough. Like some people apparently, what Petra told the shopkeep got around to other folks, and they're get a lot kind of confused. Like, I thought the show was going to be this day. No, it's not. No, okay. So they just kind of, they're unsure of what exactly is going on with your show. So it's hard to gain some traction the first couple days, and unfortunately you did not generate any anticipation for the first 2 downtime days. But you've got 4 more days before the show is slated to occur, so you have a couple more opportunities to try and turn this thing around.
So what else can be done, or is that it?
So that is the main way of generating anticipation for the show. There are some temporary upgrades you'll see kind of in the Showtime section below that you are able to potentially do. Let me check and see these, because some of them may help you out with some of this. yes, essentially, the only temporary upgrade you have right now, because your circus is still finding its feet, it still has some time. It doesn't have a very high prestige. You're only at 2 prestige right now. So the main thing that you could try to do is beer. And buy beer for the show and make sure that at least they will be well boozed up and maybe enjoy the circus more. The beer temporary upgrade, it means the circus generates an additional 2d6 anticipation for the next show. Tricks with the audience trait get a +2 bonus. However, there is a good chance that you are going to have to deal with some hecklers during your performance. So if you wanted to, it's 5 gold pieces. Right now your circus pot has 4 gold, 5 silver, so you'd have to either spend all that and fork up a little bit of extra dough, or if we want to.
The Marion's trick has the audience trait, right?
Yes.
Yep. For right now, since you're at level 5, your tricks can, they have 1 trait, but up to 2 trick checks can be used now. That means you can now use whatever skill you're using before and a second skill or saving throw if you want to. The multiple attack in quotation marks penalty is the same no matter if you switch skills up, but there'll be occasions when certain skill checks will do better than others depending on what your trick traits are and other certain things. It's small, potential for other things to happen if you do a second trick check. But up to any of you if you want to fork out the dough for some beer, or if you just want to keep
it again.
So beer for the circus show is 5 gold pieces.
Oh, that's significant.
I thought the beer was supposed to make money. Like, this is a bad circus.
It's hard. It's hard to make money in the circus. Circus
Can we
life's
try
tough.
advertising again?
Yeah, you could advertise again and decide, after how that goes, if you need to purchase some beer.
Ratio.
I'll do if Fabian is still
Shall I try
aiding.
aiding again?
You could try another society check. Hey, it's 24. Not too bad. After a rough couple of days first, you kind of find your feeding again. Like, okay, we got this. We can do this. And do add a +2 circumstance bonus to Horatio's check.
25. That includes a +2.
Okay, so
Nice.
25. Let me double check on the DC real quick. Since you're level...
The other thing is, we really don't want the anticipation to get crazy high.
This
No.
is
Then we-
true.
Because then we'll never meet the anticipation and we will fail. And as I recall, those checks were hard.
But we're
yeah.
better than we were. Hopefully.
True.
We
All
can only
right.
fail like twice though, on like 10 checks or something ridiculous.
So Horatio, what is your charisma modifier?
2.
2. So you generate 7 total anticipation, your level plus your charisma modifier. So that brings you up to 8 total anticipation now. People are starting to hear about what's going on. Like, okay, they're doing another show. That's cool. All right, let's do this. We'll give it a shot.
What was our anticipation last time? Was it 10?
15.
15. Okay.
Yes.
And we got pretty... No, we didn't get close, did we?
No, we didn't.
We got,
failed
like-
pretty
We got like
spectacularly.
9 or 10, didn't we?
Yeah, but we'll be better this time because we're higher level.
You are higher level, which is a fair point.
But the NPCs are not higher level. The NPCs are still first level because they didn't.
Sure, the DCs go up though.
Some DCs do go up. It is the NPC tricks, they remain the same. So they don't have the same stats, which means they generate still only 1 excitement per trick. However, the PC tricks will have a higher DC that scales with your level, but will also generate scaling excitement with the tricks. So the PC tricks are now much more, potent than anything else. So,
And the thing is, we want to get as many points as the anticipate. We want to.
yeah, you want to get at least as so success or failure. If you generate more excitement than anticipation, the show's a success. If you generate less excitement than anticipation, it's a failure. Critical success is extremely difficult. Critical success is generating exactly as much excitement as anticipation. So that is a narrow band to try to do that.
You don't want it to be too exciting, because then
that's just too much. It's
just too much excitement for one day.
Right.
People just get, sensory overload.
So there's
it was just too much fun. Can't
Had to
handle
go
that much
home
fun.
early.
Yep. So the maximum anticipation you can have right now is 20. So you're at 8 right now. You have a couple more days. It's up to you if you want to buy the beer or keep trying to promote the circus.
Should we stay or should we?
No, I think we should. Yeah, I think we should at least try one more time.
Yeah, and one thing to note, that plus 2d4, since you all defeated those Celestial Menagerie members in the town square before you killed one of them, Victor Volcano and during Danica Angelico Bounce, you start off with an additional 2d4 excitement off the bat. People are like, oh yeah, those are the people that are in the town square and they did the circus battle, like the dance battle, like that. Yeah, Justin Sharks. So whoever wants to roll 2d4 for me, you'll get that much excitement off the bat.
Didn't Fabian basically solo that encounter?
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
played Fabian's
Garrett was
character.
not here.
Garrett wasn't here, but I got to control.
I still think Garrett should roll it.
Sure, Fabian. Yeah, roll 2d4 for me.
1d4?
2d4,
Much?
yeah.
2d4.
2d4. 3.
Oh,
Okay.
All right, starting
That's
off with 3 excitement.
Could be worse.
yep.
Yep. Alrighty, did you want to try one more promote the circus activity?
Okay.
All right.
Here, let me-
give it another society check. Yep, that's another success. Another +2 to Horatio's check. Critical
that's a critical
success!
success.
So
Uh-oh.
much anticipation! Twice the sum of your level plus your charisma modifier.
No.
So that is 12.
No.
You've
Too
maxed
much
out
anticipation.
anticipation.
No. What did we do?
Yeah, they're just everybody. The last couple days, what it is, you're just you're like on your game. You're barking at people. I mean, usually you're an accountant behind the desk, but just kind of comes out. There's something that just happens, and Fabian's doing some convorting tricks, getting people just pumped up. So people are ready to go. You go
This is
up
like
to
blackjack and we just busted. We were
You
trying to
go
get to
up
12 or 13.
We doubled
So
down.
excited!
And busted twice.
So I'm guessing you probably don't have to buy beer, since that will just generate a lost anticipation.
We're never
So-
man, it's gonna be rough.
Oh,
Maybe I
technically,
shouldn't have promised circus animals we don't have.
We have circus animals.
you got a few, but
Yeah, but we don't have tigers and stuff.
We have paint.
We have a bear who is too sad to perform.
Is he still too sad?
um,
So speaking of our performers, do we actually
you
have any
could
performers?
try. Yes. So, going down here to your circus NPC tricks. You have Axel's amazing aviary. Axel is pretty novice and just makes doves appear from nowhere, so it's cool, I guess. But he is ready and able to perform.
How many do we need in total?
So if you scroll down toward the bottom here, you see you'll have 4 acts. There is 1 trick in the first act, 2 tricks in the second one, 1 trick in the third one, and then 3 tricks in the fourth. So 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1.
A total of 7.
7. Yep.
Okay.
I have a plan.
Oh.
All right, opener. Me. I'm good for a cold audience. All right. Build up. 2 acts. That's where we put in Axel's amazing aviary and Elysia and Mr. Tickles. They're
What,
animals.
So
they're
two
cloud.
animal acts at the same time?
Yes, they're thematically coherent. You hear me? Also, the beer will start kicking in
long as
then, and we won't have to worry about them so much.
But there isn't any beer.
Listen, I'm on a roll here. Don't rain on my parade.
It's BYOB.
Big number. All right. I know this is going to make you nervous, but Awarshisk, I need you to pull off an act of acrobatic daring do.
I
I already
guess-
have, and I already have an image in my mind. We put up a rigging of crisscrossed ropes, and you make your way freehand across one trapeze platform to the other.
I don't know if I'm very good at performing.
Yeah, that's why it's a danger trick. You don't have to sell it so much if the audience believes that you're in danger. All right, for the finale, speaking of danger, we're going to put on Victor Volcano, Faith, and Fabian. All right? Faith,
Alright,
you're
okay.
going to help Volcano as his assistant with his fire tricks. You're going to be caught on fire, all
I like
right?
it.
But
Okay, cool.
it's going to be okay. And Fabian, you're
that
going to
okay?
provide comic relief.
I can do that. Wait, am I also on fire?
Not unless you want to be.
I mean, I guess there's no fur to be singed.
I will stand by with rain clouds if needed.
How is it
by
okay
command.
that
I mean,
Faith
it's
is set on
cold fire,
fire.
right? Like it's like fake fire. It's like, you know, it's
Oh, no.
No, I'm
Sure,
sure
it's real
we'll
fire.
go with that.
right?
No, it's not.
Yeah, my insight's too high to know that. Okay. Or not insight, tense motive. Wait, how do I tell people?
But how
I'm
is
lying?
setting someone on fire safe?
It's
or-
not safe.
Or okay, not safe, but like not really bad.
There are certain
Well,
techniques
that's
that
why
you
it
can
does
learn
training.
to minimize the damage that you do to yourself.
That's why I'm studying with Victor Volcano. He seems really sane. Like he's in a good headspace, right? Like after his ex-girlfriend died, like a couple days ago.
Victor Volcano says, I think I am a professional. I can, I can put it aside and do the performance. And yeah, if you want to practice for a little bit, maybe for an hour or two before the show, I can light you on fire a few times. Make sure you're okay with it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. We're gonna need to do a lot of practice. I mean, we had 6 days. Maybe we started a couple days ago.
Well, because we weren't advertising, it was just Horatio,
We didn't have anything else to do.
Fabian.
Sure. You spend the few days while the show's being advertised practicing with Victor Volcano, who, lights you on fire, but safely. Just a little bit on fire, which your fire resistance and your, tiefling blood helps you to negate. So yeah, just it works. It seems to work. You can choose what you can choose what skill you want to use. If it's a saving throw, instead you it's the injury trait, which means if you fail that, you're not going to be able to perform. You get hurt. And then I assume probably fire is the trait that you would most likely be using as well. The fire trait, as a note, if you use the intimidation skill, you would get a +1 circumstance bonus to your check.
Definitely don't want to use intimidation because that would give me a total of +0.
And then same for Awarshisk, if you're using something up there.
What am I using, Marion?
I mean, my best skill is acrobatics. My best save is X. I'm only it's +13 for those, or +12 for athletics and will
Maybe
saves.
jumping through fire hoops. Somersaults through things on fire.
Is there an advantage to using multiple skill checks?
Only if it interacts with certain traits. You still would
Not at the
take the
moment.
you'll still take the multiple penalty for
Okay.
them. One thing that if you don't really have any other better option to, there is the agile trait
Yes.
that you can use, which makes it -4, -8. So if nothing else, you can be just nimble and quick with your trick and be able to do it a little bit better on subsequent checks.
What benefit does it?
I mean, what I want to do, which is probably not the best, like mechanically, but more exciting thematically. Well, I mean, I want to use acrobatics and I want to use acrobatics and will. I
Okay.
want the setting on fire to be a will save.
It's a mental
makes sense.
focus to hone
Right.
your resistance, not get caught on
Yes.
fire. Sure. Yeah, you can have those be your 2 trick checks.
Even though reflex would be better, but like dodging out of the way of the fire is not as exciting.
Boring. What
Yeah,
test of
exactly.
wills. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that as like he's breathing fire on you and you're dodging it every time.
Well, because like sword eating,
Well,
That could also
acrobat-
be acrobatics.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the trick. It's like I'm doing the acrobatics. He's trying to set me on fire. He keeps missing, and then at the end, I let him set me on fire, but it doesn't hurt.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Such concentration.
Exactly.
monk things.
It's just monk things.
Okay, because I'm working for something more next level where, in addition to that, I disappear.
Whoa.
What does
that's
the,
Wild.
what benefit does the injury trait give to have it have such a detriment?
It's basically if you, like, let's say I'm pretty confident in one of my saves, like one of my saves is really high, and you want to use that. The downside of using one of your saves is the injury trait is required there, and then that's only if you critically fail, then you may not be able to play it. There's another flat check after that. If you fail that flat check, then you can't perform the next show. So it's to reflect that, hey, if you're feeling like, yeah, I can just grit through the tricks and whatever, there's a chance you might be hurt by it.
The mechanical benefit is you don't have to spend skill increases on it. They automatically increase, and you start
That's
with
true.
one at expert at level 1.
This is true.
Wait. So you can
Yeah,
just
I
use whatever
mean-
your highest save is if it's an injury trait?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could design your trick around using whatever save you want. So. Okay.
I mean, being a monk, all my saves are great.
just monk shit. Just dope monk shit.
Just monk shit.
So Marion, I'm gonna walk through the acts as you describe them. So I believe Marion, you are the first in the opener. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, you are level 5, which means that your trick DC is 20.
Cool.
Okay, and then we're moving on to the build-up. You're doing the NPCs. You're doing Axel and the Amazing Aviary, and then also Elijah and Mr. Tickles, who are both forever level 1. They're just, they have their shtick. They have this routine. They're keeping it that level. That's what they do. So they remain level 1.
It's like vaudeville. They get their one thing and they just
Like either one, they're gonna go.
do it for the rest of their lives.
And then you're going to try to put Oarshisk in the big number. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Not the big. Oh yes, the big number. Yes, the big.
But not the finale. Yeah.
Yeah, not the finale.
Okay, the big number is the lizard. First time performing. And then the finale is going to be Victor Volcano. You can see is a level 2 performer. So his trick DC is 16. You've got Faith following that up at level 5. And trick DC 20. And then your wonderful clown Fabian, ending everything with a comic relief. Everyone has a big laugh. Curtain falls. Good show. All right. So
Okay.
So that leaves Horatio as still
Yeah.
not performing. You can choose to do the accountant, performer, bookkeeper, as we discussed before, or there are other potential things you want to do.
Manager.
I'm thinking of maybe doing the clown coordinator, because
It's a good one.
It's so strong.
sending in the clowns as a reaction, because we already get to do it once an act as an action.
Yes, it takes up one of your actions, and you get 3 per.
But then I could do it as a reaction, which is a lot better. Just looking at these other ones. Costumer, how many? Yeah, we only have one audience trait, I think. Lighting can't do, medic I can't do, pyrotechnic. How many fire traits do we have?
1, 2 for both Victor and Faith, I believe.
Trick checks with the fire trait generate double excitement.
I mean, I could be doing tightrope over a fire pit for an injury trait.
There you go. Yeah.
Or we could set the ropes on fire. You have to go really quick.
Well, and you may have 2 traits that you can assign to yours.
Well, you get to pick one at the current level you are. As you level up, you'll be able to add more traits onto it. The injury gets added automatically if you use a save.
Okay. So I could, if you choose fire trait, I could do pyrotechnic, which makes sense. I'm a wizard. I have fire. I'm gonna have to use Petra's spellbook to thematically take some of her fire spells.
Oh, it's rough, but you have to crack open the spellbook. Like
It's with love.
With love.
So yeah, what does everybody else think? More clowns or double excitement for fire tech?
Double excitement.
Yeah, but those clowns are really good.
I mean,
Do you think
Although
PD would want more clowns?
The third check is like
Faster
almost
clowns.
never gonna succeed, right?
Right.
So using your third action to send in the clowns when you fail your first check, probably worth it. I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a pyro today. Yeah, this is for Petey.
You get to do
Yeah.
some.
Pyrotechnic.
What's the magic
Lots of
spell
fire.
that's just like cantrip that just does non-damaging like effects?
Prestidigitation.
Thank you.
Prestidigitation. I do have that.
All right, Horatio, using some magic, imbuing it with the fiery techniques developed by Petra. In her honor, you take on the role of pyrotechnic. All right, I think that is your circus prepared. Are you all ready to perform?
Do I have to pick a trait?
Yes.
Fire. There's just a one trait.
Well, it can pick one trait or 2 traits.
One trait, up to 2 checks. So you can decide.
Okay, I got it. Fire trait, and then acrobatics and athletics.
Yep,
Right.
that'll work.
Okay.
All right. So, with that, the audience begins to fill in once more. It's been a week. It's been a tough couple weeks so far since the last show. But you feel like you've got a full crowd. People are bustling in, trying to get in to see what's going on as you prepare. You know, there was some thought and some debate about who might take the place of the Circus Barker, because Myron Thunder Stendhal was just a presence, a huge booming voice, just hard to ignore, just charisma incarnate, and it was hard to think who might replace him. And the professor, most seasoned circus veteran among you, but he has a bit of a raspy voice. He's not really one for the bombastic and whatnot. And it was a tough call for a long time. Until one little fellow stepped forward. Got up on a pedestal. Began to speak. And when he did, everyone paid attention to him. As the spotlight shines down on Cubby, the dog-faced dog, who stands up on his little doggy hind legs and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am not the most miraculous thing you will see tonight. No. Here, at the Circus of Wayward Wonders, there is much more in store. Be amazed!" And the little lets forth as the circus show begins in earnest. All right. So, Act 1, the opener, Marion, comes to you. Go ahead and attempt your first trait check.
All right. I need a volunteer. Anybody at all.
This little girl in the front row is like, me! Oh my god, me!
I'm going to talk to your ancestors who have passed on to the next life.
Oh my god! 25.
That's a success.
That is a success. All right. You begin talking to this girl's ancestors. She absolutely falls for it. She is utterly convinced that you are talking to her grandma, and she is just head over heels. That is a success. So that equals your trick level. So you generate 5 excitement with that.
I'm going to do the same thing.
All right, you follow it up with a volunteer. More ancestors speaking to the ghosts in this darkened circus tent.
For the second one.
Ooh, 19 isn't so much, but...
but if you had fire...
so it is up
Are
to
they
you.
fire ancestors?
There's an older gentleman who you tried to read ancestors from, and he kind of points out, wait a minute, my Aunt Doreen's still alive. So it's not quite what you would hope for. You do have the opportunity to try to send in the clowns if you want. It would consume your last action, but it would take your failure to a success, or you can try for another third check.
I don't know. What do you think? What does everyone else think?
I mean, sending in the clowns just to turn it to success seems decent, right? We're not trying to, like, catch up to anything.
Yeah. But it could be that, there's an even worse train wreck in the works.
But wait, sending in the clowns you can do how often?
They can send once per act.
So you're the only
once
person
per
in that act. So you should just definitely use it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll
Alright.
use it then.
So you're kind of like, well, yeah, that's the joke. Haha! And the clowns come capering in, doing some vibes. One of them pretends to be Doreen and then is coming around beating the old man for thinking that, oh, you thought I was dead! So that does become a success, as we do the last one as clowns. Bada-boom. So that turns that into that and generates an additional 5 excitement. Alright, so you generated 10 excitement so far. That's getting you into 13 out of the 20 you need. So far, so good on the show. But you are now moving on to Act 2, the build-up. As Axel and Eliza begin to prepare, there's someone who heard, like one of the roustabouts, heard you mentioning something about Bardolph. And figured, okay, it's an animal act, we're gonna throw Bardolph into the mix, right? And no one really communicated that, no, we don't really need to do that, but then he kind of brings out the cage anyway, and decides, you know what, I'm gonna we're gonna it's time for Bardolph to go. Act 2. Okay, here we go. Opens up the cage, and Bardolph is confused and gets spooked again, just like and goes bursting through the curtains as Axel and Elysia with their doves and their giant snakes are starting to be there. The animals get spooked and start running off in various directions as the animals break loose. Unfortunately, Axel and Eliza are unable to perform here. However, the excitement and anticipation of the show are going to increase. So I need somebody to first roll 2d6 for your excitement, and then someone else to roll 2d6 for your anticipation.
I'll do anticipation.
And I'll roll excitement.
I'm definitely fine with that roll.
Okay,
Not so fine with this one.
anticipation increases by 6, and excitement increases by 5. Okay.
That one anticipation.
Yep. So that is Act 2, as the animals break loose. Everyone thinks it's just kind of part of the act. You know, people are kind of like, oh, what's going on next? Oh, let's see what happens. As all that goes along, the animals break loose.
There's the
during Act
promised
2.
animals.
Yep.
Yep.
The animals.
Just like they anticipated.
Then we get to the big number to try and turn it around and bring it back into the danger and daring. Cubby introduces, now, those of you closest to the rings here, the 3 rings, may want to shield your faces, lest your eyebrows be burned off by the miraculous flames in danger you are about to witness. And with that, he kind of goes up on his hind legs again, and fire pit erupts in the center of the circus stage as the ropes get flung across for Oarshisk to try to leap across. Oarshisk, here we go. Since you have the pyrotechnics going on, generates double excitement if you succeed.
It doesn't really matter. I can use either skill. Let's go. And, start off with an athletics to like shimmy up the poles and like get out on the ropes. So we're gonna start off with an athletics.
31. For so long, you all assumed Oarshisk just didn't have it in him. He's kind of like, he's a little more reserved as the stage manager. You're supposed to be kind of behind the scenes and all that. But something about the past couple of weeks and going through all this dangerous, you've seen Oarshisk and the ability the lizard folk possesses to just climb up, and the climbing becomes an act of its own. Something about the panache of swinging around on the rope and then launching up, using the tail to climb backward up. It is incredible. That is a critical success, which means
Just bad and
Even more anticipation.
Yep.
but we get double excitement though off of that too, right?
True.
So it is 10 excitement and then 3 anticipation.
That is half the excitement we needed for the entire show.
Let's see. So,
What can I say? I know what works in the circus.
well, I won't do the total right now. We'll just keep going with what we're doing here. So, that is a critical success on that trick check there. So, what you want to do with your second action, Oarshisk? You don't have to keep performing trick checks if you don't want to.
If somebody fails, does that drop excitement or anticipation?
No. So failure is no effect. A critical failure, your excitement decreases by half the trick's level rounded up. So if you critically fail, it's a -3 excitement.
But
But you have
we're
the
already
clowns.
at. I know. I'm not worried about failing. I'm worried about us like. If we really overshoot, is there a downside to it?
No. If you do more excitement than anticipation, you're good.
Okay, so we just don't worry about getting a critical success. It's like,
Yeah, if you're like, we're not getting a critical success on this, you can just keep going and do a bunch of excitement if you feel pretty confident.
I mean, it's so hard to get exactly the same number, but So we're gonna go with an acrobatics this time to go across some of the ropes over the fire, back and forth. It's with a -5, right?
Yes.
Oh no.
I think I'm gonna send in the clown.
Yep, you can send in the clowns to
Oh,
turn
but it's
the...
an injury trait, right? Or no?
No,
It's the
acrobatics
fire
isn't.
trait.
Fire trait.
Yep. So, yep, nope, you can send in the clowns. Fail trick, a critical failure becomes a failure. So, yep, would be a critical failure. You're like, you're still not 100% on the ropes, and you're like, oh, this fire is actually pretty hot. One of
And
the
I looked
ropes
at
you're
the
on.
crowd, and I saw the crowd, and you're not supposed to look at the crowd.
Mm-hmm. You get stage fright pretty bad. So that will be the clowns for Act 3 coming in and saving you as the rope you're on starts to catch fire. You get just freaked out by the audience. Rope catches fire. You have to like awkwardly shimmy off to another one. The clowns are like, whoopsie doodles, coming back in and doing their whole shtick and thing. And then kind of clearing all that out. The fire remains, the ropes go away, but everything gets ready for Act 4, the finale. 3 performers. Victor begins juggling his batons around. Whoever wants to roll for Victor, you can do so. His check is a performance with a +8 bonus. And he has the fiery and injury traits, even though he's not doing a saving throw. Because it's dangerous fire-breathing checks.
Dangerous fire.
Yep, so whoever wants to roll a performance with a +8 bonus for Victor.
I guess I'll roll for him because I'm
Yeah,
also
you're kind of...
part of the act.
Yes. Oh, by the way, there is the co-star reaction. If someone's about to do a trick, you can attempt the same check as the trick. And... Yes, so if Faith or Fabian, if you wanted to use your one reaction for the act to do a co-star to help somebody else out, you could do so. It's like aid, so it's like aid, except the DC is equal to the trick check being performed. So if you wanted to help Victor in this case, you would just have to make a performance check DC 16.
Can you only send in the clowns for yourself, or can you send in the clowns for
You
somebody
or
else?
another performer.
Okay, so if somebody used their reaction to do this, somebody else can send in the clowns for them later.
Yep.
No. Sending clowns is an action.
Yes. That would
Right?
use
Oh,
up,
that's right, for an action.
that would
Got
use
it.
up one of your 3 actions.
Okay.
But,
Got it.
Unless we have a clown bouncer, in which case it becomes a reaction.
Right. I remember that now.
We don't because you're performing. So
16.
I am not going to be a co-star because that would be my performance is pretty terrible. So I'm just going to
Gary
roll for
should
Victor.
co-star.
Yeah, I'll co-star because I can definitely do performance, and if I don't,
Yeah.
I will be embarrassed.
co-star just has to be another performer in the same act as you, so it has to be
Okay.
either Fabian or Faith. But
Yep, I can do that.
yeah, so
So do-
Fabian, if you want to use your reaction to co-star, you just need to make a performance check. An 18 is a success, so you'll be adding a +2 onto Victor's check, so now he has a +10. If you want to roll that, Brian, for him.
I will roll. 18.
18 is a success, so he does
Good
that.
job, Victor.
Victor gets into the habit. He's pretty impressive, doing the batons, occasionally swallowing one and breathing the gout of fire. So he generates a whole 2 excitement. Okay, you can keep going with Victor, or you can move on to somebody else if you think Victor's done enough.
I think it would be a +5 or a +3. Do I
So
lose a +2?
yeah, the co-star is just for 1 check, so it would now be a +3 to his check if he does the second time.
Isn't he at level 2?
He's got
It's
to
level
beat
2.
He should, so we should get +4. Because fire trait doubled.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, pyrotechnics. You when the fire gout goes out, you do a little bit of prestidigitation and kind of add some sparks into the flame, making it even more impressive.
I think I'll give Victor one more shot.
All right.
Okay.
What's the worst that can happen? 10? Yeah, the finish is kind of weak. You see him like reminiscing about PD a little bit, so he's just a little distracted at the end there. But just a regular failure, nothing too bad. One more time with Victor, or you want to move on?
We can move on.
All right. Faith,
You've done enough, Victor.
Victor kind of just prepares as kind of more of a passive and ready for you to be caught on fire.
Okay. So I'm going to start with my flaming acrobatics trick.
Okay.
Or my flaming circus trick, as I called it.
Sure.
And nobody's aiding me. No damage. Haha! Crit success!
Wow.
Nice.
Yep. So, and
Ooh.
you gave your trick the fire trait, right?
The
Yeah.
fire trait. Yes, I did.
Wow. Okay, so that's the same as Oars's first check with a 33. So that's 10 excitement and 3 anticipation.
Well, isn't it 20?
So
Is
normally, the thing with critical success on the doing a trick, you generate excitement equal to the trick's level, added to the circle's performance. You also basically critical successes are not great because they just add anticipation.
I thought they doubled and added anticipation.
Yeah, the double is just from the pyrotechnics. The critical success is still excitement equal to level, but then also anticipation. All right, so that's that. Okay, so you just absolutely, people are going nuts over Faith, just crazy acrobatic fire tricks.
So I'm feeling really confident by this, so I'm gonna follow up with letting Victor set me on fire, so that's a saving throw roll.
All right.
And I get a -5 to it because of the multi-attack penalty.
Yes.
You're a little winded from jumping around a bit.
-5. Ooh, that is a
That's
crit
the
fail.
same as what I did.
Lofty heights,
Crit followed
lowest
by a crit
depths,
failure.
just absolute. You do have one more action. This would be your one clown use for the act, though, if you choose to send them in now.
Fabian doesn't need clowns.
I think we should.
Yeah, we might as well.
Yeah.
I am a clown.
Well, I will send the clowns on myself.
All right.
Make jokes. You're on fire.
You're on
Extinguish her
fire.
with one of those little flowers.
Yep, they come up and try to do the thing like, save your asses again. The clown's like muttering to you during the show, like, as you're like,
My
no,
first
this actually
day."
hurts. And Faith gets kind of like, they put out a stretcher, and make a big deal out of sending you to the hospital.
Get in the clown car.
And then finally, the clown everyone loves, the Foldy boy, the cat clown himself, Jingle Puss, rolls out and capers onto the stage to finish us out with the finale.
Okay. Yeah, I guess my routine will be a fake fire routine where I can never get the fire lit through the routine, and that'll be the gagging joke. What is that performance?
Yeah, whatever one of your two trick checks are. And it's a DC 20. Nailed it. Perfect. So that generates. People are
Oh,
laughing.
my goodness.
They get the joke. It's an additional 5 excitement for you. People are just absolutely loving it. They're like, "Oh, Fabian, he's real good." Loving it, loving it, loving it. You can end it there. Make it just like short and sweet and end it on a point, or you can keep trying to perform.
Should I try one last?
Should we numbers it and find
I
out where
don't.
we're at
I
right
don't
now?
think it makes a difference. I have 45 over 30.
So if
My
he
notes
crit
may not
fails,
be 100% correct.
If I fail, what was that?
If
If
we
you
crit fail, that wouldn't make a difference.
Well, I don't know. Let's wrap it up. I don't want to risk causing into trouble.
He already did
Because
the
we-
co-starring.
We don't have any base, right? It's just what we built up.
You started
we had-
off with 3 excitement.
Yeah.
Anticipation, I mean.
Oh, anticipation. Your starting
Okay.
anticipation was 20.
Okay.
Now there is a thing about maximum anticipation, but the animals breaking loose. Oh. No, so it is just maxed out on 20 anticipation.
Oh, okay.
So you're good.
So then I think we've doubled
I
our
think you're
goal.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead and do it. Let's blow them away.
Yeah.
Okay.
End it with a bang.
Okay.
You
Or
So it's
can't
minus-
cause us to fail, so blow them away.
Do it,
It's,
Fabian.
which is it? -5.
-5.
-5. Okay. Well, let's. I'll put in that -5, and let's try and end it on a big bang with
A crit.
Come
Success.
on, crit.
success. Yeah. Maybe the fire finally lights and a big comical explosion. Maybe I'll do a reflex saving throw.
Sure.
It's whatever. So your trick has like 2 traits that stay with it the whole time. So you have to assign like 2 skills to it that are going to be permanently attached to that trick that you'll use from here on out. Right? I'm understanding
yeah,
that
so
correct.
performance
Right?
and-
When you level up,
Saving
you can
throw?
switch it around, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to say reflex is your second kind of thing, you can make the reflex save.
Okay. Here we go.
Nailed
Just
it. Nailed it. All right. With that, the fire lights. Everybody claps. Everybody loved that. As you, in the circus show, much, much, much better than the first one. People do a standing ovation. They love it. They say, wayward wonders, wayward wonders. As the meager Abertonians, packed out in this little tent, so full of anticipation, have a successful show. Congratulations. You have done it. Your first successful show. Yep, your maximum anticipation was maxed up from the get-go at 20. There are things that can eventually kind of make the circus tent bigger. It's mostly size, right? You had a full, packed, sold-out show, so the circus just literally can't accommodate anybody else there. So by and far, you've blown away with the excitement. Super exciting show. Petra would be just humbled and honored were she here to see it. So it is a success. When it is a success, your payout is your prestige level plus your final anticipation. So that is, your prestige is at 2 and anticipation is at 20. So the circus earns 22 gold pieces from this show.
Isn't
I
it
think
more than
Irish
20
Tech-
though? Because the anticipation, not the excitement. Oh,
Right. Yeah. So if you fail, it is based off of anticipation because it's going to be lower than excitement. Or sorry, if you fail, it's based off of excitement because it would be lower than anticipation.
So it's always based on the lower number.
Yes. But if you get
But
that
if we,
critical
if we
success,
nail it, if we get
it's
exactly
double.
right.
You double your payout.
So
Yeah, hard to do. But it is a success. So you earn 2 prestige. So you're on to 4 prestige for your show, and feeling much more confident in your abilities. People begin to trickle out. The exhilaration, the adrenaline starts to leave you as the night winds to a close. And nobody dies. Nobody
True.
gets killed during the show.
There's no killer.
There's no
animals
murderer.
Or...
Nope. There's none of that. It's just a nice evening. Enjoy a
But-
drink by the fire.
I am injured. I have to make a flat check to see if I can be injured anymore.
Because of the critical failure for that. Yeah. It's a DC 15 flat check.
Oof.
Hey!
I got a 16.
Avoid
But-
injury.
Told you I'm fireproof.
Also got a critical failure, but
I
It
don't
wasn't
think
Sent
an
in the
injury,
clouds, too, so it got upgraded to a failure.
okay. So, but he also sent it in the clouds, right?
No, because my trick had the injury trait because I used a saving throw.
Oh, fair enough.
But your trick doesn't have the injury trait because it just, even though you fell off the you fell off the trapeze.
We have a net.
That doesn't count as an injury.
I slipped, but I caught myself. Rapid mantle
Mhm.
back up again.
Yep. All works out. All's well that ends well. Your show comes to a close. Mayor J. Aber comes to you again, saying, "I was incredibly fine. Thank you all. My sincerest apologies for the delay, but I did manage to find some arrows and the cloth you requested. I'm sorry it has been so many days and a week, in fact, for me to get this. Quite embarrassing. So, but thank you. And he gives you the items that you request after the show. And then you see him get kind of nervous and be like, do you think you will be staying for much longer beyond this?
We're actually thinking it's about time to head on.
Oh, good. Nothing. I'm sorry. I'm being very rude. It's just the people of our fair town are not how should I put this? The most wealthy of individuals are well-to-do, and I am worried that your amazing performances may empty our people's coffers rather quickly. So, but maybe sometime in maybe a few months or so, you can come back, and we will be able to give you the proper coinage you deserve, if you catch my drift.
It wouldn't be interesting if you saw the same axe every night, or even every week.
Well, I'm sure there are some folk here who would disagree with you and love to see this every day for the rest of their lives, but they are farmers and have work to do.
It's the kind of town where they drive around the central square 20 times every night for their thing to do.
I tell the mayor that it's company policy to leave the audience quivering in anticipation, and I walk away.
Say it! I'm sorry. Patient. So, Mayor Aber leaves. So, if you have no more business, or I'll go ahead and ask you if you think you have any more business in the town of Aberton, or do you begin to pack up the tents and go away?
I think I do want to do some crafting. It doesn't have to be here. We
On
need
the
some.
way.
We need some stuff.
Can you craft on the road?
Depends what you're crafting.
We need to transfer a striking rune to a Fabian rapier, and I need to craft those hand wraps. Assuming we have money for all of those things. I don't know what what the recipients' money situations are, but
I have
I can.
I'm doing pretty good. I think
10 gold pieces.
I have
Weren't we,
4 gold pieces? Did we get paid at some point?
Yeah, weren't we getting the Abedaran church to sell some stuff for us?
Well, one of the things was
Yeah,
Patrick,
we were hoping that after we got back that he would not have sold it yet, so I could transfer the potency rune onto hand wraps.
I thought there was a staff
That
as
saves us
well.
money.
Yeah,
Oh, that's true.
There were
Yeah,
a couple
there was the
items.
staff.
I'll say
Yeah.
that you had an intention of taking back one of them. It had not sold yet, unsurprisingly. And not a lot of wealthy buyers coming in through this part of the Isle of Arran. But I believe the other one was a staff. What was it?
It was what's her face's
She's
staff, druid staff, right?
No,
Oh,
it was there was a staff of. I mean, it was a druid staff, but it's
it
from
was an animal staff. Yeah.
an animal staff, and
Okay.
then the weapon was it the trident?
there's a trident.
+1
It
trident.
was a trident, right?
Nintendo
I took
trident.
these things off of the sheet when we deposit them for sale. So,
Sure.
It's like a hell fork or something like that. Something fork.
yeah.
Fighter's fork. That's what it is. A +1 fighter's fork. With the ability to extend to reach size for an action or something like that.
So I can, as long as we have the money, I can craft all those things automatically. Not automatically, but without having to roll.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
How much money do you need?
We can maybe do the accounting off air, but
well,
just accounting for the time I do need to do that. It's 3 days per item. One day to transfer a rune, 3 days to craft.
okay. So the trip to Escadar will take about 3 days. So if you wanted to have everything ready before you went there, you'd probably spend 3 more days in Aberton doing that stuff. And then you could do one of those 2 items on the road.
Okay.
So at this point, you just have the animal staff trying to sell from the church, the Golden Lost Church, right? Okay. So we'll say you spend, then if the other people think of later on something they want to do with like 3 downtime days after your circus performance, as you kind of wrap things up here in Aberton, you can let me know later. But as those kind of days come to a close and you're packing things up, the circus is getting ready, packing things along. It's this whole process. Roustabout's taking down the tent, packing things around. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of long days putting all this back up and ready to move on. In the afternoon one day, it's a nice fall day on the year 4720. A figure comes up and kind of stands a little awkwardly off to one side, watches you pack up. Doesn't say much, but seems like they want to speak up and say something.
What?
Oh, hi. I really liked your show. It was the most exciting thing I've ever seen in my life, actually.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to really say I'm really torn up about your friend. It's really horrible. Seems like you guys are strong though, and probably have like the resilience and spirit to keep going through all this.
That's awfully kind.
Yeah. So anyway, I had an idea, and you can feel free to say no if you want.
Conversation right now.
If you don't want to, it's totally cool. I get it. But I figured if you didn't have like I don't know, like what do they call it? A quartermaster or something, someone who's kind of like a shopkeeper in your band of circus performers.
Horatio, do we need a quartermaster?
I mean, it's just an idea. I do.
He hasn't said no yet.
Shop.
We can always use handy people.
I'm literally ecstatic right now. Okay, cool. I'll just I'll take one of these empty wagons and load up my sundries. So, you know, if you need something, we can do, like, you know, the store thing again, if you want.
Great. Welcome to the Circus of Wayward Wonders.
Thanks. I'm really excited. Glad to be on board. Thanks, y'all.
When he leaves,
Cool.
I turn to Horatio and tell him, "You were supposed to say no."
What? He's handsome. What do you want me to say?
Typical. Listen, I'm going to try to be nicer from now on, but I need you to be meaner, okay?
That is absolutely not a deal.
Maintain the balance.
This doesn't work if we're both boring.
What do you mean? What do you mean boring?
Just like, oh, I don't know. You're here, I'm here. We don't have opinions about things. It's boring.
I don't know who you're talking about. I literally have opinions about everything.
Exactly. That's the point. Continue having opinions about things.
Oh my gosh.
So, after this awkward exchange, it comes time where you're about ready to leave. Have not heard anything from the sale of the staff in the church, or anything about Nemia. Is up to you if you want to do one more check-in on the church, or if you are packing up your things and leaving it to its own devices.
We have a quartermaster. Maybe he can sell the staff.
Let's drop in and just say hi. See, we can let them know we're going to Escadar, so he could send a message if he needs to. He can take the price of the courier out of the price of the staff.
All right. So it has been about the time when you'd expect the response from the courier that was sent out early the previous week. So you heard back that they were sending somebody who was, you know, adept in some removing curses, and they sent along a priestess of Sarenrae, and to try and do some healings. Didn't have much success with it, so kind of didn't much came of it. But you want to check because they were going to stick around for a few days. You come back to the Church of Golden Laws, and things have been put together from when the demons attacked the church and all that. The priestess of Sarenrae is not there. Instead, your old pal, Nellen Drend, is there. And he's kind of just like sitting like this.
Does he still have the scars?
No, he does not. The art still has its scars from there, but his scars have healed since now.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. He's just kind of sitting there like this. His hands propped on the counter. You see the staff kind of in the same place you left it before. It still is not sold. But he's doing this. And as you kind of come in, it's a little odd. The other odd thing is you notice that the vault kind of behind him, behind the pulpit over to the right where he was hidden, is slightly ajar.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just thinking.
Was that his voice last time?
About what?
Sounds about rough. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'm thinking about my wedding day.
Who are you gonna marry?
Honey, we have guests. And the vault door opens a little bit, and you see several figures emerge from it. One is an unbound and freed Nemia Bramblecloak, the halfling druid. One is a wolf with tinged red fur standing on end and snarling. One is a tiny little winged demon thing that you've seen before. And the last one is a woman you have not seen before who looks a little something like this. And as she turns to you all, lowers her glasses a little bit, she says, "Thank you, darling. These are interesting wedding guests indeed." And that is where we will pick up next time.
Fantastic.
What?
Graham was like, "You sure you don't want to go back and check it? Are you sure you don't want to go and check?"
Well, you get to find out what nonsense this lady is about next time on Really Playing Games. The Extinction Curse.